WestgateCars.com High School Hoops, presented by West Shore Home, brings us to the hearts of Raleigh and the pulse of the Cap 7. Tonight, it's a stiff rivalry highlighting senior night. It's the Bulldogs of Southeast Raleigh invading the Eagles' nest to battle with the Enloe Eagles. Patrick Keenis alongside Jay Sohnhalter as we are moments away from tip-off. And Jay, there's a lot at stake and a lot of history between these two squads. Southeast Raleigh comes in 3-3 in league play. Enloe, off of a COVID break when the season began, finally picked up that long-awaited first win just a couple of days ago.
Well, and you mentioned it. With all the history, this is a big-time conference matchup, and these schools being so close, this is a competitive game for both sides. And the Southeast Raleigh, the record's sitting pretty well, but Enloe on senior night, it's such an important matchup to get them going in the right direction.
And these two teams will play back-to-back over the next 5 days. And let's get to our stars to watch tonight. And we'll begin with the junior from Southeast Raleigh, averaging about 14 a game. That's Justin Johnson.
He's improved so much, and you said it right. With his 14 points per game, he's the leading scorer for Southeast Raleigh. And Marquis Carrington really relies on him with his outside shot, but also his slashing ability, getting into the lane on the defensive end. He's a leader as well. Just an important piece for the Bulldogs.
And then for one of the most exciting scorers in the triangle from Enloe, it's just a junior. It's Dakota Gordon.
Yeah, and he's one of the best shooters in the state, and he's a guy that really puts a lot of pressure on defenders to close out on him because his quick release with his outside shot. And as a junior, he's a leader. He's a guy that guys look up to, and here tonight he's going to be an important piece on the offensive end, but also getting his teammates involved when he faces double teams.
It's also interesting on the court, but also on the sidelines. Two up-and-coming young coaches in the triangle. Let's get to the keys tonight for Southeast Raleigh under Marquis Carrington and the Enloe Eagles with Emmanuel Chapman.
Yeah, and they've got to defend the three-point shot. The Bulldogs have to focus on that tonight, and the main thing is they're defending Gordon's three-point shooting ability, and then they want to create turnovers and help get out into the fast break and where they really use their quickness and their athleticism. For Enloe, they have to rebound, crash the boards, and box out. They want to win in that margin, and then converting in transition. When they're out running, they have to make sure they convert those opportunities.
In this COVID-19 era, not a lot of fans will be allowed in, but it is senior night as they celebrate the Enloe Eagle. Two seniors on the way out. We'll come back, tip-off, Bulldogs and Eagles on High School Hoops next. High school hoops tonight from Raleigh, North Carolina. Southeast Raleigh taking on Enloe. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sonhalter with you. Southeast Raleigh 4-3 overall, 3-3 within the Cap 7, and the Eagles at 1-6 and 1-5 within the league. As we take a look at the starting lineup presented by Westgate Kia of Wake Forest. WestgateCars.com. We will make you a believer for life. And there we see the starting five for the Bulldogs. And Emil Malone, number 30, first year playing basketball, great talent, big upside for this Bulldogs squad. And meanwhile, for the Enloe Eagles, we all know about Dakota Gordon, 26 points in their win over Broughton a couple of days ago. But keep your eye on Isaiah Jacobs. He's wearing number 20. Jacobs is one of the top wide receivers in the state of North Carolina, getting looks from so many major Division I programs across the state and across the SEC.
Yeah, and he's the guy that we saw in football, Patrick, and as a freshman, he showed athleticism, toughness, and he's really brought that over to the basketball court. And both sides, there's a good mix of veterans and also young players. Both coaches really enjoy coaching both their teams.
All right, so we are underway. Enloe taking on Southeast Raleigh. And in this COVID-19 era, no jump ball, so the visiting team takes it out of bounds. And you're going to have a little bit of nerves here, but we talked with Emmanuel Chapman, the 30-year head coach for the Enloe Eagles. He feels like his team has finally gotten into a little bit of kind of in-season rhythm because they had that loss of time, about 14 to 17 days. So while everybody around the state was playing 5 or 6 games, they were playing none. And to make up the time, Jay, they had to play 5 games in an 8-day span to catch up.
Yeah, it's been tough just with conditioning, and there's Coach Chapman over on the sideline coming back to his alma mater. But the ability to really bring a team together and get them to gel in this year has been so tough. But he's excited about these young players and really how the team now here into February, they've got some games under their belt, how they're starting to improve.
Enloe in the home whites again on senior night. Dakota Gordon, the junior. And this is Joshua Laney wearing number 3. But Enloe is a team that has some scores, but just needs to pick up a little bit more experience. Only 2 seniors on this senior night. And why is tonight senior night? Well, you can't take anything for granted right now. And this is a home game they had, and the team is healthy, and they kind of just assigned tonight being senior night. And a 3 up top, left a little bit short. Crashing the glass is Isaiah Jacobs, but it's off his fingertips and out of bounds to Southeast Raleigh.
Well, I think that was a good decision making this senior night, and plus this is a rivalry ball game, an important ball game, and opportunity to honor those seniors. And Marquis Carrington, the head coach of Southeast Raleigh, he's a name that's very here in the triangle and coming over to coach Southeast Raleigh. He's really got them on the right path back.
And there's the Maquette Williams, Henry wearing number 4, trying to make a steal in the backcourt, called for the foul. About a minute gone by in this opening quarter. Neat coaching storylines. Chapman, an Enloe grad, one played his college ball for Coach Moten at NC Central. Then you have Marquis Carrington, who came through Hargrove Military Academy and then on his way into Greensboro to play for North Carolina A&T. So they bring a lot of knowledge to both benches. There's a takeaway by Enloe, and then a return turnover as Laney's pass a little bit behind the intended target, Williams Henry.
Yeah, both sides right now just trying to find some rhythm, and turnovers here this year, it's such a huge factor in any year, but especially now, just again with the schedule, the conflicts with COVID, just playing a clean basketball game. That's the biggest key in every single ball game for both teams. Right now, they're just trying to find a consistent pace.
And each of these teams have already dropped a couple of games to Millbrook. Right now, the only undefeated team in the Cap 7. So the schedule has not been easy, but praise really from both head coaches, especially Marquis Carrington, on just how well his team has coped with a very challenging and difficult season. Gordon, one of the top shooters in the state, defended by Josh Mosley, number 4. Takes a screen, they double him, and the pass gets away. This is Tiki Pulley. And he's in trouble, right back in the hands of Gordon.
Look at Southeast Raleigh right now, doubling Gordon, trying to get a turnover here, putting pressure on the Eagles.
Williams Henry gives the first lead of the game to Enloe. Lefty drains a sweet-looking 3.
Yeah, good elevation, shooting over the top, had an open look with that double team. Bulldogs couldn't come over there and really collapse on him. Wide open look, and good job for
That's a West Shore home 3-pointer, thanks to Beckett Williams Henry. West Shore home can convert your old bathtub into a modern, spacious walk-in shower in just one day. A 2.5 minutes gone by, opening quarter, 3-0 Enloe. And we get an offensive rebound by Williams Henry, and that shot blocked away. And covered up by Emil Malone. And the foul in the backcourt will go against Isaiah Jacobs. Well, Malone, an interesting character on this Bulldogs team, a guy who literally had not played any organized basketball until this year for the Bulldogs. Marky Carrington and Malone's teammates extremely high on the advances he's made just in the first few months of this season, but on how good this senior can be moving forward, as already some junior colleges are taking a look at him because of that high ceiling.
Well, and they see the potential. 6'6", a really strong body, and here coming in and kind of learning all the nuances and first year playing, it's just remarkable how much he's improved and how good he already is.
Yeah, he was just walking the hallways like any other ordinary student at Broughton, and then came over to Southeast Enloe. But you see a body like that, and soft hands like that, and athletic ability. Yes, any coach would lather at the mouth to have them come on the team and see what you can do to help out, and it may lead to a pretty good basketball career for Malone.
Yeah, and so much of recruiting is projection and seeing talent, and seeing how much it's going to get better. And you look at a guy first year playing, how much more is he going to improve? He has no ceiling because this is his first time and first really season where he's going through a schedule, so the potential's unlimited.
Pass comes inside, Samari Dowland again, and he gets fouled. That's going to send the Bulldogs to the free throw line, yet to score over the first 3 minutes of this opening quarter. Southeast coming in off of a 23-point loss to Millbrook, a really good team, not only in the Triangle, but across the state. And again, Enloe winless up until earlier in the week when they knocked off Broughton by 9. First of 2 U.S. Coast Guard free throws, in and out, no good. U.S. Coast Guard, gocoastguard.com.
And for Southeast Raleigh, that was a ball game where they had a big loss, a big deficit there, but it was just that effort that they played with and how they executed, and not their best performance. And really here coming into this ball game on the road in a tough atmosphere, a big challenge, but something that they look forward to getting back out on the court after that Millbrook game.
We expected to see a lot of high-pressure defense applied by the Bulldogs. They pick up Enloe even full court, and now a foul on the attack by Williams Henry, who's been pretty active here in the opening quarter for the Eagles.
Yeah, he's looked really good. A lefty, that's tough to guard. And look at the speed getting around the corner. You see the contact there. He's a strong player, but that first step so important to get the angle.
Praise and Anba collects the foul. So Williams Henry, one of 2 seniors on this squad. He's one of the main guys on this Eagle team. Kind of the silent leader, according to Emmanuel Chapman. Has the tendency to put a little extra pressure on himself, and right now has a tendency to maybe wear a little too oversized shorts. Back at the foul line for a couple more U.S. Coast Guard free throws. U.S. Coast Guard, gocoastguard.com. First 4 points of the game for the Eagles belong to number 4, Williams Henry.
Just that 1-2 punch with him and Gordon, that's tough to stop those 2 guys, and right now the double's going to Gordon, so Williams Henry's taking advantage.
1 of 2 rebounds the Bulldogs. Again, Enloe was all ready to begin this season when we talked with Emmanuel Chapman earlier today. And it was basically the night before their season opener. There became a concern with COVID-19 within the program, so they went on an immediate pause. And while everybody else around the Triangle, the Cap 7, were getting their first games in, they were on pause, really no team activities at all. And by the time they resumed, most teams had played 5 or 6 or even 7 games at that stage. So not only did he lose time on the court with your games, but he also lamented that we just lost a ton of practice time. And we're a young team. We needed to get on the gym, on the floor, and work on our stuff. And when they came back, they had to play 5 games in 8 days, and with only 1 practice mixed in there. And that's, as you know, Jay, when coaches can really have their impact on a team.
Yeah, and that's when the team can come together. Good job by Enloe there, breaking through the pressure. Good job there by Jacobs finishing. But that's where you get better, and that's where you come together as a team. It's not only during the season, but it's the off-season, the camps, the workouts in the fall, coming into it as one once fall practice starts. And, for these kids on both sides, they missed that this year.
Turnover in the backcourt, scrambling to it and two Bulldogs with their hands in the basketball. There was not an Enloe Eagle tying up that basketball, but there was Kittrell and Dowling tying up each other. 3:50 to play in the opening quarter. Enloe leading Southeast Raleigh 6-1 on the WestgateCars.com High School Hoops presented by West Shore Home. We're live tonight in Raleigh. Enloe with a 5-point lead early. Underway opening quarter. Enloe up 5 on Southeast Raleigh. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sonhalter with you tonight. Cap 7 basketball. And don't let the record mislead you for the Enloe Eagles. Again, 1-6, 1-5 within the Cap 7. But again, they're just kind of hitting their groove here with a routine, regular week of some practices, a chance to work on some things. It's a pretty talented squad, although the record would indicate otherwise.
Well, and the Cap 7's so tough. So this is a young team that's getting better and then facing good competition that's forcing them to improve. So you're right, this is really the time of the season where you want to be playing your best basketball, and Enloe really is.
Joshua Laney, number 3, will get it in. Gordon yet to score. The fall away, air ball, rebound by Williams-Henry, and the takeaway by the Bulldogs. And speeding ahead, Bron Brinson, whistle, and the bucket is going to count at the first field goal of the game for Southeast Raleigh. Nice takeaway by Brinson, and he found an extra gear.
Well, it started on the opposite end of the court with the defense, and then Brinson with the steal took it coast to coast. No one stopped him, and you could see his speed, his athleticism, and then getting the contact, but still having the ability to focus and finish for the end one opportunity.
On against Dakota Gordon. There's a three-point play from Brinson, one of 7 seniors on this Southeast Raleigh squad. 2-point lead for Enloe, and here comes that pressure. They'll throw some double-team traps in the backcourt if they can, and hope to speed up the Enloe offense.
Well, and that's what they want to do. They want to change things up and force Enloe to play fast, create those turnovers, and then guys like Brinson to take over in fast court opportunities.
This is Owen Peterson, a true freshman playing varsity, and he's broken into the starting lineup a couple of times this year for Enloe. Misses a 3, and then a tie-up on the rebound off the glass, and it's going to belong to the Bulldogs.
Now Southeast Raleigh just turning up the heat on the defensive end, really starting to play better here the last couple possessions coming out of the timeout.
Now the interesting story with Owen Peterson, as you get a look at Justin Johnson here from Marquis Carrington. For Owen Peterson, again, a freshman at Enloe, but basically campus has been closed because of the coronavirus, so he hasn't even been around his own school yet. He's wearing the school colors, knows the fight song for the Enloe Eagles, but he hasn't even been in the cafeteria yet on campus.
It's COVID year. This is so much different, but it's good that at least he's in the gym here tonight wearing the jersey. I know all these guys, though, are going to be happy to get back home.
Inside 3 minutes for the opening quarter. Enloe leading by 2. This is Ricardo Hall. And a patient offensive set for Southeast Raleigh.
Enloe switching to a zone defense. You said it, Southeast Raleigh, a timeout here to kind of go over the look there, seeing a good job, Marquis Carrington, seeing the zone defense. Hey, let's take a timeout, reassess things, and get everybody on the same page.
Yeah, and these two coaches know each other really well. They're both in their third years here in the same conference. But again, for Enloe, this is one of the advantages now that, as you get a look at Emmanuel Chapman on the left side of your screen, you know, they didn't have many opportunities when they were, again, on pause and then playing game after game after game. You can't throw in defensive wrinkles. You can't work on your zone D or your zone offense. But now that they have a little bit of space and time between games, you can throw things out, and it looked like something that Marquis Carrington and his Bulldogs weren't quite prepared to see.
For sure, and so many times in football you hear about coaches adding things into the playbook as the season goes on. Well, it's the same thing for basketball, especially with this year being so different. You know, you start off simple playing your base offenses and defenses, and then you start to kind of add in more things as the players feel more comfortable.
And as these two young head coaches, I mean, they use a lot of video evidence. They scout through video, and they, you know, have their scouting reports based on guys they saw last year. Memories are really fresh for these two outstanding young coaches here in the Cap 7. This possession now has gone on about almost 50 seconds, and not even inside the three-point line until now, and a beautiful finish with the left hand by Josh Mosley.
The athleticism, the hang in the hair, and Mosley, you know, he kind of just waited and then played with a good pace and then broke through there, and nobody stopped him. He had to hang in the air for a second there, but a good spin on the ball to knock it in.
And you see Mosley going against Dakota Gordon. George Moretz wearing number 34 through the high post, sets the screen. And now Williams Henry out of the corner. A little room to maneuver, but then the basketball knocked right out of his hands, and a turnover on the Eagles.
Southeast Raleigh again playing really good defense after that timeout. They're starting to turn it up, and then they want to lead to their offense. You see here, nice board coming through their hustle.
And a takeaway there by the freshman Peterson as we near the 1 minute mark for the opening quarter. 6-6. Gordon certainly wants to get involved. He can create, and a little bit strong with that elbow jumper. This is Nasir Sutton, the step through, throws it up hard off glass, almost went down.
Oh, good job by Enloe getting back in transition defense to slow them down. But Southeast Raleigh again trying to push the pace.
Playing into the final 45 seconds. Here, a reminder, get free delivery on all your favorite meals through Wegmans Meals to Go, all for a limited time. All alone down low, that is Moretz. And the junior coming in off the bench with his first points.
That was a great drive-in dish by Williams Henry. Going down the middle of the paint, pressure came, and they dished the ball off.
And the Bulldogs an opportunity to hold for the final shots. Trailed by 5 early in the quarter. And it's in the hands of Brinson, ticking inside the final 10 seconds. Clearing out all low and open at the foul line is Ricardo Hall, banking it in. And that is going to be how this opening quarter ends. All level on the Ricardo Hall foul line jumper, utilizing the glass. Done with 1 in the Cap 7. Enloe, Southeast Raleigh, even at 8. 8-8 through one. Back inside the Eagles' nest in Raleigh. Patrick Keenis and Jay Sohnhalter. Enloe, again, is kind of getting its traction about its entire season after about a 2.5-week delay. And there's a look at Marquis Carrington, who played his college basketball at North Carolina A&T. Was a junior varsity coach at Cardinal Gibbons, then became the varsity guy, and then was at St. Augustine's for a couple of years as an assistant coach before joining the Southeast Raleigh program. 8 all. And Dakota Gordon, really the two stars we highlighted at the top of the game, have yet to score. Another live ball turnover and a hard foul is going to send Mosley to the free throw line. And a couple of his teammates socially distancing, but still getting close enough to help him to his feet.
Yeah, he got up from his teammates there, but look at the defense. Again, jumping the passing lane. A good job playing with your eyes, recognizing, and then hard foul. We'll go to the line for 2.
Bit of a dangerous foul as the defender Adebempe kind of got beneath him as Mosley was in midair. So one more coming here from Mosley at the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line. And that one is short, misses a pair. Peterson snatches the board. And so far in this contest, Justin Johnson, not even a shot attempt yet for the Bulldogs. And Dakota Gordon has yet to score. Trap out front. Trouble for Adebempe and a turnover charged against the Eagles.
And Patrick, both teams knowing each other so well. Scouting reports really doing a good job of those two stars putting the focus defensively on them and forcing others to beat you. And right now the defensive game plan is paying off for both sides.
Bulldogs have not led. Tight defense out front. Mosley escapes. And again, they spread the floor.
Going back to his zone defense here. And this is where Southeast Raleigh, they're going to be patient, move the ball on the perimeter.
Oh, beautiful dump down pass, and there was the first lead of the contest. The first points for Emil Malone. Again, great job breaking down the zone, attracting a couple of defenders, and the dump off pass to a wide open Malone.
Yeah, it's about being unselfish. That shot could have been taken, a couple different of those passes, but they broke it down, drove in, forced the defender to come off, and made the pass for an easy layup.
And that's foul on the approach. Fisayo Adebempe, the sophomore, will head to the free throw line for Enloe.
Both sides, Patrick, you got this young talent, and you wish this was a normal year, but you really just want this COVID stuff to get over with so you can work with your guys this summer and have a normal schedule next year. You can see the young talent and how much it can develop. They just want to get their hands on their guys more and get them to practice and get them to continue to develop.
One more coming as Williams Henry onto the floor. More Anchor Auto Outlet free throw. It's a 10-8 lead for the Bulldogs. And, that's one of the areas where, as we were talking with both coaches over the last couple of days, these players know each other awfully well from, summer ball, from the local YMCA. There's a lot of pride at stake in this conference, but certainly when these two tightly knit teams get together, there's a lot more than just a single win or loss.
Really good tradition on both sides, and you can tell by the effort out on the court, the defensive play, both sides. They're really playing part, and how much this game means to them is just evident by how they play.
Turnover gives it right back to Enloe, trailing by 2. Boy, toes were just inside the sideline by Isaiah Jacobs. That's a good sign for him as a wide receiver in the college and the NFL game, right?
Always staying in bounds.
That one was challenged, and Williams Henry comes out of it. Tosses it ahead, but he led Gordon too far, who cannot save, and Gordon turns around, asking Williams Henry about that errant pass. And Gordon was well ahead of everybody. Just a simple A to B pass leads to an easy layup and gets Gordon in the scoring column as well.
Yeah, that's one you wish you could have back, because that's an easy 2, and an opportunity like that doesn't come around that often to get your best player into the flow.
Eagles still hanging out in that high 2-3 look. A couple minutes have elapsed here in the second quarter. And we get a whistle and a timeout taken by Southeast Raleigh. 5:57 to play, opening half. Bulldogs leading Enloe 10-8.
And for Enloe coming out here, senior day. That's such an important ball game for their guys. This is their last ball game here at home. Southeast Raleigh, a rivalry. You're playing really good defense. I just think they have to find a way to get Gordon the ball in shooting position, Patrick, because he's been handling the ball. The double team's coming over to him. He's the best shooter. You have to have somebody else handle the ball and then let him come off a pick so he's not having two guys trail him.
10-8 Southeast Raleigh leading. A reminder, stay tuned for the Wegmans to Go High School Hoops halftime report, where we will have first half highlights and a whole lot more coming up at halftime. Enloe jumped out to a 6-1 lead, but Marquis Carrington's Bulldogs ripped off a 9-2 spurt and in possession here.
When Enloe really stretching out the zone defense, and you see a back pick right there for the alley-oop, a little wild. But good job now getting to the line, and that was a set called play out of the timeout. Marquis Carrington really drawing it up, lulling the defense to sleep, and then you throw that cross-court pass for the alley-oop opportunity. That's all coaching right there.
And boy, did Nazir Sutton sell that. That was as nonchalance of a pass as you'll see from about 37 feet. It was a little wayward, but credit Johnson, who also has yet to score. As one of the stars to watch here for the Bulldogs, he returns to the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line, trying to get him involved. But he stuck with it after he couldn't quite reel in that first pass. And one more coming for Johnson, who's been with this program his entire high school career, and especially here in the state of North Carolina, and particularly in the Triangle, that's not a given. You see a lot of kids transfer from school to school, but not the case for Justin Johnson, who's averaging about 14 a game, which leads the Bulldogs.
And he's getting college interest. Junior colleges looking at him, and the guy that loves Southeast Raleigh continues to get better and a leader for his team.
And more ample pressure applied by the Bulldogs. This is Williams Henry with his second three of this half. And that will draw the Eagles even at 11.
And he's been great, and he's the guy that's really taking advantage of the double teams, and the ball's moved around. He's taken his open shots and made the most of it.
Breaking the pressure, shot though, blocked from behind by Williams Henry. Ball was loose, and the Eagles dive on it and call a timeout.
It's all heart, all effort we see here. Look at this, Williams Henry coming in from the backside. He's really on a three-point line once that ball was caught, and then soaring up in the sky to knock it off the glass.
The silent leader for Enloe with a loud block denial, dunk denial at the rim. And here is Williams Henry locating Gordon along with the three. Now there is Ricardo Hall, and again beating the Eagles down the floor. But the recovery defense for Enloe has been impressive in this first half.
Yeah, they're hustling. They're getting back there and stopping the ball, and another turnover.
Trouble in the backcourt. And now numbers for Laney and the Eagles. Defender stumbles back. Three-pointer on the way long. And the rebound by Jacobs. And a second crack here for Enloe. The dump off, Williams Henry. Sutton out of the corner. Might have been deflected out of his hand. And an aggressive rebound by Adebempe. 11-11. Almost halfway through this second quarter.
When Southeast Raleigh again playing man-to-man defense, then they'll switch sometimes and bring a double team just like they did on Adebempe.
That pass caught a forearm, goes out of bounds. Intended for Isaiah Jacobs. 3:56 left, second quarter. Tight one from the Eagles' nest. Bulldogs and Enloe all level at 11. Enloe and Southeast Raleigh meet for the first time of 2 matchups, all within the next couple of days. Bulldogs 3-3 in conference play. Enloe off of a win over Broughton a couple of days back, sitting 1-5. Biggest lead for Enloe has been 5. Bulldogs have led by 3. For the 2 stars, Gordon and Johnson, not a lot yet. Dribble drive, Laney gets to the hole, and there's his first points for the junior.
And how do you break a double team? You just take it all the way. Laney, 2 defenders coming right at his face, kind of pulled back out and then went to the right. No one came over to help, and he took it in for 2.
Aggressive in the backcourt, trying to force another turnover. And contact as that one is thrown up toward the rim. Foul will go against Enloe and send Ricardo Hall to the free throw line. This may be a Cap 7 record, but of the 11 points from Southeast Raleigh, spread across 6 different players in this opening half.
Yeah, a lot of balance, and Hall there driving in hard, getting the contact. It's been a physical ball game so far.
And Hall, regarded as one of the top defenders on this Bulldog team, will have one more. GPA about 3.5. He's been coming back a little bit slowly from an injury earlier in the season, but his minutes are on the improve, and one more anchor auto outlet free throw is missed. And the rebound to Laney. And Laney is in a different role. I mean, he was a point guard on the roster last year, but really never played, and he's embraced his brand new role leading this Enloe offense this year. Brandon misses a 3 out of the corner. Offensive rebound, twisting in is Isaiah Jacobs, and finishing off the window with his left.
This is all effort. The offensive board going over the top, just reading the bounce off the rim. Look at that, tipping it to himself. And then the physical play down low. You see him kind of just stick his shoulder in, lean in, get the contact, and then the ability to finish. It's so impressive. Just his body type as a junior. Talked about him playing football, how that translates over to the basketball court.
I mean, he is a tough kid. We've seen him with the right hand. We've seen him with the left. We've seen good footwork, good awareness of where he is on the court. Finishing through contact there. It's back to a 4-point lead for Enloe, 15-11. No look inside, gather, there's the extra pass, and that short shot is missed, and it ricochets around, and the Bulldogs still can't finish from short range. And scoring free, and a poke away nicely by Jacobs, denying another Bulldog opportunity.
That's all effort, all hustle, and Southeast Raleigh relentless on the boards, but Eagles defenders jumping in their face, waving their arms, trying to block that shot. Southeast Raleigh coming away with the possession, but on both sides, really good job fighting for the ball.
Trevon Kittrell, wearing number 3, is on the floor for the Bulldogs. He's a 6'2 junior. 2.5 to go in the first. Bulldogs down by 4. This is Brinson in the inside. He switches to the left but can't finish. And he got a greased up basketball, grabbed by the Bulldogs, and Brinson the finish, plus the foul.
And Brinson's so tough in the paint now. We saw him leading the break, using his quickness, and now kind of down low, getting contact. We'll see the ball moving around here. Look at it again, fighting on the floor. The shot fake going into Jacobs, and then he continued through the contact. This is a good job by him, really, again, manufacturing points for his team.
And Brinson now leads the Bulldogs with 6. And it's a 15-14 contest with 2:20 left in this first half. They're really relentless on the offensive glass of Southeast Raleigh with the last 3 or 4 possessions, creating and missing on the inside of Adebepe. And he tries to rip that rebound right out of the hands of Trevon Kittrell, and they exchange some words here. We talked about the history between these programs. They are deep rivals, and a lot of these kids know one another, not only in these 2 games, but across the 12 months of the calendar. And here it's just a tug of war that neither wins. And some words exchanged through the COVID-19 mask protectors.
So it's funny, they're both wrestling for it. They knew it got to the point where they couldn't, or else they're going to get in trouble. So they both kind of locked in and then looked at each other to stare each other down. It just shows you, though, how much this game means to both sides.
Bulldogs aiming for the lead. Pass poked away into the backcourt, reclaimed by Brinson.
Southeast Raleigh really spreading the floor right now and going to the man-to-man defense, and good opportunity for a pick and roll.
Off the bounce, there is Braun Brinson again. A 9-point half, and now a 2-point lead for Southeast Raleigh.
And that was Malone with the pick, and it forced the defense just kind of fade back just enough to allow Brinson to get the shot off.
The Eagles now attack the zone after a break, and it's a nice finish with the left by Chris Brandon for his first points.
And they broke the press, and Southeast Raleigh, they're bringing two guys. Been double teaming. Nice job just eluding the pressure.
And what you like to see in a game like this is another takeaway, a steal by Jacobs. Inside it goes, and the finger roll from Brandon. And Enloe reclaims the lead 19-17. With a couple of young, rising coaches here in the Cavs 7. Both of these teams efforting so well on the defensive end. They know how to pressure. I mean, they are being taught very well by Marquis Carrington and Emmanuel Chapman, and they know how to convert, changing defense to offense, and how to attack after breaks and presses, make the other team pay.
Their foundation is built on the defensive end, and both offenses really having trouble with their half-court sets. And how are you going to win this ballgame? It's going to be because of defensive pressure, creating turnovers on both sides. They look their best when they're using those turnovers to convert fast break opportunities.
And there is Emmanuel Chapman, who led North Carolina Central to its first ever NCAA Division I March Madness tournament. 2014, he's one of their top players, scored 10 points in an opening round loss against Iowa State. NC Central got back to the tournament in 17, 18, and 19, but have lost all of those games. Those were all part of the first fours. And the first and two anchor auto outlet free throws rolls in for Enloe's Chris Brandon. He's had quite a last couple of minutes. All 5 of his points have come in the final 2 minutes of his first half.
And I think it's important both coaches have a pedigree that they can say, hey, I've done this before. And Chapman played at Enloe, starter on the varsity from his freshman year, and Martin Carrington winning a state championship at Cary. Both these guys were star players, and they're coming back because they truly care about developing these guys, making them better on and off the court.
And how about that? After making the back end of the 2 free throws by Brandon, there was a foul on Southeast Raleigh trying to get on rebounding position, and Laney fouled, and now he's at the line for the Eagles. And misses the front end. Rebound taps right in the hands of Jacobs, and he gets fouled. We've seen, 3 fouls on Southeast Raleigh in about 2.5 seconds? And more free throws coming up for Enloe.
Yeah, that doesn't happen too often there. But a string of fouls, and you see again the hustle, the relentlessness on the boards. Jacobs being physical down low, and offense has been hard to come by here tonight, Patrick. And for Enloe, getting some momentum here, stretching out this lead will be important as they go into half.
Isaiah Jacobs at the anchor auto outlet free throw line leaves it short. He was on the JV team last year for the Eagles, but he's also on the track team. And as we mentioned, the 6'4" Isaiah Jacobs, who likes to be called 6'4", even though he may be growing into 6'4" eventually. And Kentucky taking a look at him, ECU, Tulane, Duke, UNC, Coastal Carolina for his wide receiving abilities on the gridiron. Driving in, and the layup is knocked down by Ricardo Hall. 30 seconds remain in the first half. Pressure has been constant for the Bulldogs, and the finish is not there for the Enloe Eagles. We get another whistle, and I think this is going to go on Southeast Raleigh as well.
It's good hustle for Enloe again, an opportunity to go back to the free throw line, convert some of these points with a clock stop, 24 seconds left.
A reminder, stay tuned for the Wegmans to Go High School Hoops halftime report, first half highlights, and more. 23-17 Enloe. First point for Adebempe.
And Patrick, you're talking about the height of Jacobs. These kids, though, they make a roster, in November. These guys could grow an inch or two, so they kind of side on the players there because they could be 6'4", but by February you could be 6'6". So these guys just develop so much, and they're in that age range where they're continuing to get bigger and stronger.
Enloe enjoying its biggest lead of the game, +7, deflected pass. They're going to get one more opportunity here before halftime. And Ebembe fires ahead. Gordon looking for his first points of the half. Kills the dribble with 6 seconds. And we do get a whistle, a timeout, I believe, taken by Enloe. And that's a really good timeout by Emmanuel Chapman here, as they really didn't have a whole lot going. Gordon had terminated his dribble, and they were not likely to get a good look, but saves the possession and can dial up a play.
Yeah, and you don't want to lose that timeout without using it. Now you can really draw things up, get something out of the out-of-bounds set. It's going to be important for Southeast Raleigh here to, again, you figure they're going to bring a double team, but they have to have that wall beyond the double team, that if it gets broken, you don't have miscommunication where there's an easy lane to the hoop, because still plenty of time with 5 seconds left.
24-17 Enloe. And again, when we came on the air, we tried to set up one of the extenuating factors on why Enloe has gotten off to a slow start. You missed 2.5 weeks from the start of the season, and a lot of quality practice time, bonding time, and game experience. And they've had to go from 0 to basically sprinting a marathon for a couple of weeks to catch up in terms of games, and now into their normal weekly game rhythm. And so Enloe, it should not be a surprise at all. The Bulldogs leading by 7 and looking for a little bit more before halftime. Ball knocked away. Try to be saved. It's poked away by the Bulldogs. 1 second left. It counts if it goes. Online but short from Josh Mosley. And that will take us to halftime at the Eagles' Nest. And Enloe, after beginning the year 0-6, Emmanuel Chapman and the Eagles trying to make it 2 straight wins. At the break, they're up 7 on their rival, Southeast Raleigh, 24-17. 24-17, Enloe on top of Southeast Raleigh at halftime. Welcome to the Wegmans To Go High School Hoops Halftime Report. And now it's time for the Riddle and Brantley Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Riddle and Brantley is proud to present the MyRDC High School Hoops Riddle and Brantley Scholar Athlete of the Week. From Southeast Raleigh Magnet High School, the Riddle and Brantley Scholar Athlete of the Week is Ricardo Hall. Ricardo has made AB honor every semester and carries a 3.5 GPA. Ricardo stays active in his community by donating clothes and food to those in need. From Enloe High School, the Riddle and Brantley Scholar Athlete of the Week is Dakota Gordon. Dakota is the captain of the basketball team, the 2020 Cap 7 3-point leader, and carries a 4.53 GPA. Dakota is in the top 6% of his class, a member of the National Honor Society, and serves his community as a tutor for elementary schools.
Riddle and Brantley is proud to be a sponsor of the Scholar Athlete of the Week. Congratulations to these All-Stars, and good luck on your eligibility for a $3,000 scholarship at the end of the season.
Riddle and Brantley. Injured in an accident? Call Riddle and Brantley when justice counts.
The Wegmans to Go High School Hoops halftime report continues with Enloe owning a 7-point lead on Southeast Raleigh. Well, now let's go to an interview that Jay Sohnhalter did with West Shore Home's Paul Janowski earlier in the week.
We're talking with our high school hoops presenting sponsor, Paul Janowski of West Shore Home. Paul, how is West Shore Home different from working with other home improvement companies?
Hey, thanks for asking, Jay, and thanks for having us. The home improvement industry is plagued by complaints of cheap work, poor quality, unmet expectations. So we decided to reinvent home remodeling. At West Shore Home, we believe you deserve a better, safer, and easier home improvement project. So we made our process risk-free, easy design process, trusted installation, and convenient financing.
Why do you feel it's important for West Shore Home to support high school sports?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Super important. Here at West Shore Home, our number one goal is bringing happiness to every home. We're here to support families and children in all of their home improvement projects, as well as their outside activities from the home. That's why for anyone watching this right now, we're going to give you an additional $500 off on our current sale price.
Thank you for your support of high school sports, Paul. Tell the viewers how important this offer really is.
Oh, of course. And again, thanks for having us, Jay. But yeah, this offer is absolutely huge. It's one of the biggest offers we've ever put out there. You know, again, we believe that homeowners deserve a better, safer, and easier home improvement project. And this will just make it even easier for them. That $500 off all our current sale prices.
Thank you, and it's great to have you as our high school hoops presenting sponsor. Back to you, Patrick.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Paul. And again, halftime score 24-17. Enloe on top of Southeast Raleigh. Coming back with more of the Wegmans to Go halftime report when we return. Back to the Wegmans to Go High School Hoops halftime report. Patrick Keenis and Jay Sohnhalter. And Jay, it's a 7-point lead for Enloe. despite Dakota Gordon not scoring, as we take a look at some first-half highlights.
Yeah, and it's a game of momentum, and right now Enloe has all the momentum going their way. Williams-Henry started off from the outside, showing a nice three-point stroke, and then getting the ball inside to Jacobs. He really did a good job controlling the paint. It just seemed like they made the right basketball decision. Nice drive and dish for an open two.
6 different Eagles scored in that first half, but again, none for Gordon, who scored 26 in their win against Broughton. And I would imagine the Eagles would see that as a pretty good sign because they know he can light up the score sheet quickly.
And for Southeast Raleigh, Justin Johnson, the other star to watch, not a lot of opportunities for him scoring the ball. So for them, they've got to get him going, and Enloe's got to get Gordon going. Still a lot of ball game left, but Southeast Raleigh played at their best when they turned up the defensive pressure. And then towards the end, getting Brinson the ball inside, then using the shot fake, making the extra pass. Malone has a height advantage inside as well. They've got to get the ball to him, and Brinson shooting from the outside showed a nice outside shot.
Brinson led all scorers in that first half with 9. So the lead for Enloe is 7, 24-17. Second half from the Eagles' nest when we return. (24-17), Enloe leading Southeast Raleigh. They beat the Bulldogs both times last year, and Emmanuel Chapman trying to continue that. Played some pro basketball in China and Slovakia after he finished up under Lavelle Moten at North Carolina Central, and he's done a really nice job, especially preparing them for tonight's game after what has been a rocky beginning for a lot of exterior causes this year.
Yeah, for sure, and gained that win. Now they've started to build some confidence, and we talked in the first half about the importance of having a pedigree. And, he's been in these guys' shoes not too long ago, and he played in this gym and walked in this hallway, so he can say, hey guys, this is what you have to do to be successful. So for him, this coaching season, this career that he's had here at Enloe with 3 years, it means so much to him.
He's walked the hallways. He probably remembers his locker combination. Heck, I still do at Pontiac Township High School back in Illinois. 3-21-17. Click. I'm never going to forget that.
That's the secret. That's the secret code.
Enloe basketball in the white uniforms to begin this third quarter, and there is Gordon trying to score his first points of the game. We're going to play for him. Another pretty clean look. But so far now his night in transition. Nice left-handed finish there by Ricardo Hall. He has 6. And the Bulldogs chip into that deficit.
And you saw out of the halftime break, trying to get your best player going. I think Enloe has to try to get the ball into his hands. And again, not handle the ball, get him when he's moving, when he doesn't face a double team.
That layup is finished by Owen Peterson, but an excellent dig by Isaiah Jacobs on a poor pass down around his ankles to keep the possession alive. 26-21 Enloe. This game on both sides has really been predicated on harassing defense. Traps, zones, strips, a lot of deflections.
See the patience that Southeast Raleigh is showing. Marquis Carrington really wants his guys to make that extra pass, look for the best shot. So good job, Patrick, driving and dishing for the open look.
Now that is textbook. Drawing the double. Mosley knocks down the three. And just like that, it's a 2-point game. 26-24. That is a West Shore home three-pointer. West Shore home. Convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just one day. Block near the rim. Here come the Bulldogs. An opportunity to tie. Driving in, and we are tied just like that. The Brinson layup has completely erased a 7-point Enloe halftime lead.
Well, what a start for Marquis Carrington's Bulldogs. They're coming out on fire, turning up the heat on the defensive end, and then forcing Enloe into tough shots. This is the recipe for them, just gaining that momentum back after the break.
And another jumper missed by Gordon. And frankly, you know, when Marquis Carrington knows how dangerous the Dakota Gordon is, but watching Gordon in offense here today, just about every shot he's taken has been short.
But he's got to be so proud of his players' effort, but the game plan that he drew up, double teaming him, limiting his shot opportunities, and now you can see the offense that this is a talented team, but now they're getting in the flow of things with their defense.
What great confidence we've seen emanate from the Bulldogs in the first 2:15 of this third quarter. Now on top, 28-16. They trailed 24-17 at halftime. So they've scored 11 points in a little more than 2 minutes after scoring 17 points in the first half. Looking for more. Brinson on the pull-up. And Gordon snares the rebound.
Well, the Bulldogs just look more confident now. And they've had a really good season. And coming out the first half, their defense was there. They're just having trouble shooting the ball, but now they're coming out playing more free and more loose.
And that's going to be a blocking foul. No, they called a charge instead. It goes against Isaiah Jacobs. He thought free throws were coming. Two officials kind of stared at one another, waiting for one to take control of the call.
Yeah, we'll see the replay here. There's a delay. And double team coming. Jacobs going in. And the contact going down. His feet was set. Judgment call, but going the way of the Bulldogs.
And both of the officials kind of pointed at the other, saying, "You got the call? No, you got the call." Okay. Offensive foul it is on Jacobs. Out of the corner, in and out. And here comes Laney and the Eagles. And they have taken the ball out of Gordon's hands. We saw him run the point for a couple of possessions early, but now they're freeing him up in spaces like these to try and knock it down. And the frustration is really beginning to build up for Dakota Jordan. And there's the Euro inside shot, blocked away though by Brandon, and right back to the Bulldogs. And Mosley, on another second chance crack for the Bulldogs, knocks down his second three of the game, and another West Shore home three-pointer.
Oh, and Southeast Raleigh scored 17 points in the first half. Already 14 here. Just shows their offensive talent. And again now, starting to get in the flow of the ball game, the shooters getting open looks from the outside.
And outscored Enloe 14-2 in the first 4 minutes, and that is simply not a good shot by Laney. A fall-away three out of the corner leads to this opportunity. A spinning layup good from Mosley as he leaned back into the defender trying to get a whistle as well. The run continues for the Bulldogs, and a badly needed timeout for Enloe. A 16-2 sucker punch to begin the third quarter for the Bulldogs. Southeast Raleigh right now in charge on the road. Well, this third quarter has seen an awakening of Southeast Raleigh. Trailing by 7 at halftime, 24-17. They have turned the tables in a major way against Enloe, and now in control. That will make Marquis Carrington very pleased. They've scored 16 of the first 18 points of this third quarter. Looking for more. Brinson will connect and head to the free throw line.
Now an 18-2 run. Southeast Raleigh fired up here in the second half, and one opportunity for Brinson. He played so good in the first half, really picked up the scoring load in the first, and now coming out here again, the Bulldogs winning with defense, creating these turnovers, leading to easy scoring opportunities.
At the U.S. Coast Guard free throw line, Brinson rolls that one in. The U.S. Coast Guard, go coastguard.com. Big game for Brinson, 14 points already. And the lead bloats out to double figures for the first time in favor of the Bulldogs.
And Brinson also the best defender, so doing it on both ends of the court.
Running another play here for Gordon from 24 feet, and he finally connects. That's his longest shot attempt of the game, and that is something that Emmanuel Chapman and the Enloe Eagles desperately needed. It was basically negated immediately on the drive by Nasir Sutton.
And you can just see how talented he is with that long follow-through, unlimited range. It's good to see him start to get into the flow of this game with his first shot.
2-on-1 on the backside of a turnover. Layup is missed. And claiming the loose ball was Peterson. They spin away by Enloe's Williams Henry to dodge some trouble. But Enloe needs to get things back under control here. Passes have not been crisp. Shoes are not all on feet. Williams Henry steps that left heel back into his sneaker.
Shoes tied, get everything going here. You can't have turnovers, though. Too many turnovers here.
There's another one. They run a double team at Gordon, forced a turnover. The layup is missed. Now one-hand putback. It's been that kind of night by Bron Brinson. Simply cannot miss.
Yeah, that was amazing. He just kind of caught it, nonchalantly put it in there, so confident. Again, the defensive effort, is really taking over. Another turnover.
We want to thank United Rentals for powering tonight's high school hoops basketball game. United Rentals, you're building the future. We are here to help. And another timeout by Emmanuel Chapman and Enloe. This one is getting away from the Eagles fast. Mosley the bucket. Southeast Raleigh up by 13.
Well, and Patrick, what did Marquis Carrington say at the halftime break? This is a new Southeast Raleigh team. Whatever he said was gold because it's working right now. His team just playing at such a high level. They only scored 17 points in the first half. This offense has taken over.
They have 25 points in the first 6 minutes of this third quarter, 17 minutes in the first hour of this game.
Unbelievable. I mean, they're on a pace for over 100 points right now if they start out the ball game like this.
And again, it's been defense, forcing bad passes, live ball turnovers, converting on the breaks, and knocking down some open jumpers as well. And this is really emergency time for Emmanuel Chapman. But for Marquis Carrington's Bulldogs, trying to get their 5th win of the year, they would move to 4-3 within conference play. I mean, this is a guy, when I asked him yesterday, because he's a local guy, what camps did you attend before he went on to play your college ball at North Carolina A&T? He said, my college camps when I was a prep player, as an elementary school player, were in my family's driveway because we simply couldn't afford it. So my camp was against my dad, my cousins, and other relatives to try and get better. As a matter of fact, he was a team manager of his 6th grade team. And then he wound up being teammates with those guys when he finally got into high school. He didn't have a grade school team, so he was a manager for a 6th grade program. So he was getting water bottles for players who would later then become teammates of his about 4 years down the road.
He's been around the game his whole life. He was an all-star at Cary High School, teaming up in the backcourt with Scotty Hall to win a state championship. I actually, when I was younger, went to those games and lived in the Cary area, watched those dominant Cary teams, and he's a guy that played football as well, just an amazing athlete, and now giving back to these kids and so many kids that he's coached throughout his years.
A whistle there on what was about to be another potential fast break opportunity for the Bulldogs. Yeah, the Cary Imps went to back-to-back state championship games, lost his junior year to Morganton Freedom and then beat Greensboro Smith in 1994. It's amazing the recall, the vivid details he had of all of those games and all of those teams. But I did ask him, what do your players know about your background, about your career? I mean, this is a guy who went up against Jay Williams, he went up against Shane Battier, played against Corey Alexander from UVA. But he said the toughest player I ever played against was a guy by the name of Kyle Carver, who's an outstanding shooter and player for the Creighton Blue Jays.
And he's still playing in the NBA, and those are stories that he can tell his players, but also lessons that he can tell them. Hey, you want to get from point A to point B in life, this is how you do it. I did it. And for him, just an amazing career. And he's a guy that, I asked him, I said, what was your points per game average? And I was like, was it 25? And he didn't really say it because he's humble, but I don't think his players realize how dominant he was in high school.
A 10-point lead for Southeast Raleigh, minute 32 left. Our Scholar Athlete brought to you by Riddle and Brantley. So if you're injured in an accident, call Riddle and Brantley when justice counts. Enloe and White, Southeast Raleigh in the traveling green. Another long three, and that one is knocked down. Dakota Gordon missed every single shot until a few minutes ago. He's hit a 24-footer and how about a 27-footer. Watch out now for the Bulldogs defense because Dakota Gordon has shown up.
And now starting to show some pressure. The Bulldogs, outstanding job breaking it. And Chris Brandon also for Enloe knocking down that three. So a three-point shot helping the Eagles cut into this lead.
Another West Shore home three-pointer thanks to Dakota Gordon. But then we've seen this a lot so far tonight, Jay. A made three, Eagles really don't get back defensively, and they're hit with an odd man break out of the baseline, out of bounds, the backcourt.
And that's a focus that they have to get better at. When you make a good play on one end, you have to get back and stop the ball because Southeast Raleigh's made them pay.
I mean, there's no reason you should be getting beaten on a 2-on-1 at the other end after you make a three-pointer. Inside a minute, 10-point lead for Southeast Raleigh. This is Gordon taking the screen from Moretz, fires a three on the run. He's beginning to feel it. Offense rebound, Williams-Henry, and he will head to the free throw line. Now we're beginning to see an increase in the energy for the Eagles after Southeast Raleigh has dominated this third quarter.
And knocked down a couple shots. You can just see they're starting to play more confident. And they realize, 45 seconds left here. You've got one more quarter. You've got to cut into this lead. And they're a talented offensive team, but they've got to continue to shoot that three-point shot. That's their strength on the offensive end.
Senior Williams-Henry at the U.S. Coast Guard free throw line. Go coastguard.com. Makes a pair. But this has been a 28-point quarter for the Bulldogs. And they're not done yet. Active press defense, and we get a hook and an offensive foul charge against Justin Johnson. Trying to get around a double team that was closing fast on him.
Yeah, and he's just trying to wrap his arm around to get the angle. We'll see Johnson here. See that right arm going around. There it is, Gordon right in front of the referee. A good call there, and again, he's just trying to kind of clip off him so he couldn't get the angle. Nice call.
And Gordon faced a stiff closeout. Now the Bulldogs know exactly where he is on the floor. Late whistle there. The Bulldogs thought they had a clean strip. But another foul on Southeast Raleigh. 21 seconds left, third quarter. 45-37 is the lead for Southeast.
And see the Bulldogs jumping in passing lanes. They've been aggressive. They've been reading the eyes of the passer there. Gordon put the ball in the air. Jumped it.
Non-shooting for the Eagles. Gordon, a fall-away three going into the first row. Missed it. And a whistle that will keep it here. Another one charged against the Bulldogs.
And Gordon, he's got a green light, Patrick. And he's a guy that, he just has to knock that first one down to get hot. And he's got the NBA range. It's a good job on the backside by Williams-Henry, reading the ball off the rim and jumping over the top for the board.
And they nailed Mosley for the foul, who had inside position, but he was kind of bent over a bit and kind of backing Williams-Henry away from it. So 17 seconds left. And there you see Mosley still making his case, along with Marquis Carrington. can say, how is that not a clean box out right there? Free throw made by Williams Henry. Back to the U.S. Coast Guard free throw line. U.S. Coast Guard, go coastguard.com. A couple of free throws, drawing Enloe back close. Enloe led by 7 at the end of the first half. And they'll trail by 6. A 13-point swing in this third quarter alone. Sutton nearly lost the dribble, poked away, and a reach in on Enloe.
Very quietly here, Enloe, only 6-point deficit. They didn't handle that run from Southeast Raleigh, knocking down a couple shots, go to the free throw line, a couple turnovers that you create, and now all of a sudden they kind of steal some of that momentum back. And for them, it's going to be important to come out the first couple minutes of the fourth and really play with the same energy.
4.8 left in the third. Malone at 6'6" is in to defend the interior. Grabbed by the Bulldogs. The extra pass at the horn would have counted. And that is the end of the third quarter. A monstrous third for Southeast Raleigh. Marquis Carrington's squad hangs up 28 in the quarter against Enloe to take a 6-point lead into the final quarter. An offensive clinic by the Southeast Raleigh Bulldogs in that third quarter. Puts a smile on the face underneath the mask of head coach Marquis Carrington. 28 points the Bulldogs score. But this game far from over. Lead was stretched all the way to double figures. Cut into it by Enloe. 6-point game, 8 minutes left.
The best quarter they played all season, coming out of the halftime break, doing it all in the defensive end, executing on offense. Now, can you maintain that same play here in the fourth? It's going to be important. Continue to make that extra pass on offense, play great defense to close out this game.
This is Brinston with the basketball. He thought about taking a shot, changed his mind mid-shot, and tries to track down the errant basketball, and it's going to go the other way to Enloe. But it has been Brinston's game so far for the Bulldogs. Leads all scorers with 16. Well,
he's been the catalyst, really leading the fast break and forcing Enloe to try to get back, and they haven't done a good job getting back to stop the ball, and he's made them pay. And you see the hustle here. Both teams want this game so badly, and they're going to see each other again on Monday night. So it's going to be a quick turnaround. It'll be interesting to see the adjustments both sides make on Monday after watching this film.
Yeah, do you think the coaches enjoy that? Do the players like basically a home and home within a 2 or 3 day span?
Well, I think on the coaching side of it, you don't necessarily have to game plan because you've seen the team that close. So it's not like you have to go watch 20 games of film because you just saw them. So it probably makes it a little bit easier. I think on the player side, they're really probably just happy to have a ball game at this point. But I think under normal circumstances, they'd like to see them later on in the year and see new faces on Monday.
Well, for the missed free throw, Bulldogs still up by 6. This is Mosley, not close, but the offensive rebound, and that one swatted out of bounds by Brandon.
Brandon's hit a couple big shots from the outside tonight here on the defensive end. We'll see him being tough down low, all ball. Ball out of bounds.
That one deflected out, well chased by Dakota Gordon. He did not score in the first half. Knocked down back-to-back threes from long range in the third quarter. But even though he got off to a slow start, make no mistake, he is the main operative weapon for the Eagles. So any clean look, even if it's not a high percentage shot, he's allowed to take. Because he's the guy that can bring the Eagles all the way back. And that is a blocking foul going on Enloe. Called against George Moretz.
See here as Brinson goes into the paint, just surveying the defense. Moretz tried to set up for the charge, didn't quite get in front of Brinson.
Maybe a little dispute by these officials. We could hear in the background, and we saw Adebempe basically signal that should have been a charge. But we might have seen one official make one call and another make a disputed call. And we'll see what the resolution is. Whatever it is, Marquis Carrington doesn't look all that thrilled on the sideline for Southeast. We'll take another look right there. Moretz, number 34, to me didn't quite get set. The official right there, bottom right of your screen, indicates a charge. And you see at the other end, Dakota Gordon kind of pointing at that official saying he called it a charge, you called it a block.
Yeah, and that was a perfect view by a crew. You could see the differences on both sides, and looks like it's
called it a charge.
But it's a charge. He overrid it.
So Enloe on the home floor brings it up, down by 6. A minute elapsed here in the final quarter. Tight defense by Sutton. He gets a little bit of help. Adebempe can't finish. Into the corner. This is a 3 and book it. Knocked down by Nasir Sutton. His first 3 of the game, and the lead back to 9 for Southeast Raleigh.
And you see the emotion over on the sideline from Southeast Raleigh, and then it's carrying over on the floor. Another turnover.
And Mosley snaking in. That is a definitive blocking foul on Enloe, and Gordon a little slow to get up for the Eagles.
And the Bulldogs making all the right basketball plays, the good decisions, making the extra pass on that three-pointer, and then here the double team, saying hip to hip to get the ball, and then again attacking the hoop, putting pressure on the Eagles.
Take back the foul called against Moretz, who earned that charge a couple of seconds ago. Block this time. And back to the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line. Josh Mosley feeling around that left elbow. Tries to give the Bulldogs another double-digit lead.
And Enloe, 9-point deficit right now. They do have the shooting ability with Gordon to get hot. That's the strength on the offensive end, is the three-point shot. Now, it hasn't really been clicking the whole ball game, but they still have the potential to do it. But they've got to get back on the defensive end and stop having turnovers. Otherwise, they're not going to have an opportunity to come back in this game.
Well, the issue here at the scorer's desk is, the clicking of the Bulldog offense. The clicking of the actual game clock was not working right there. After the whistle was blown, the clock continued to run. And I think they're trying to determine exactly how much time is left here in this fourth quarter. It ran all the way down to 6:35. And Marquis Carrington still pleading his case. I'm betting from about 4 or 5 plays earlier.
Yeah, exactly. You see here, this was called as a block.
And you see in the corner, the clock shows 6:25. Still runs after the call was made. Should have stopped at 6:25. And there you see it at 6:35. Now, I don't know that they have a monitor out there on the courts. They're trying to do a little subtraction based on, when the foul was called, when the last bucket was called. They're trying to do a little high school math here to get the clock in the vicinity of what to us looks to be about 6:25.
It still looks like there's some discussion, confusion on it. Yeah, and it should be at that 6:25 mark.
Yeah, and again, they don't have a monitor out there, but I did hear on one of the microphones somebody said 6:25 out there on the floor. Maybe that has been relayed from somebody seeing one of our monitors out to the official score.
This is an unplanned timeout, but both coaches having an opportunity to bring their teams over and kind of digest what's already happened and then come up with a game plan here. Should be 25 left in this ball game. How are we going to finish and win this ball game? And for Enloe, the recipe is 3-point shooting, get back in transition defense. We can't turn the ball over. Southeast Raleigh, hey, keep doing what we're doing. Turn up the heat on defense, make plays, go attack the rim, drive and dish to your open teammates.
All right, let's dig a little bit deeper here on the Enloe Eagles offense. We know that Dakota Gordon has the ability to put up big points in small time off the clock. What are the other options for the Eagles to get a little bit more consistent down the stretch, considering they're down by 9 points here in the fourth?
Well, Isaiah Jacobs down low has had some success. He's gotten to the free throw line. He's been physical, especially on the offensive boards. I think they need to get the ball into him. If they're facing a lot of three-point closeouts from defenders, dump the ball inside to him and let him go to work down low.
This will be a two-shot foul coming up from Mosley. They did not readjust the clock, so it still shows 6:35. So evidently they didn't have full clarification on where exactly the game clock should be. Free throw made by Mosley. And he now has 13 points.
See Williams Henry coming back in the ball game. He was dominant that first half. They've got to get him going as well, and his strength is really slashing, going to the hoop, so they need to let him kind of work and play that one-on-one game from the outside.
So even now with an 11-point lead, pressure comes full court. The drive-in shot was missed by Brandon, and the Bulldogs out of there with it. And again, that's what the pressure leads to. Hurried shots, quick shots. And the Bulldogs have the foot speed and the athleticism to do that and recover and grab some defensive rebounds. This is Gordon, one of his open looks of the game. In and out. Put back is good off the glass by Chris Brandon.
Brandon's played really well, doing it from the outside, hustling, made a nice pass on the last possession, and they're finishing off for two.
And now it's the Eagles knocking it away. Loose over the end line, and it belongs to Southeast Raleigh. A near turnover forced by Williams Henry and Gordon.
And fighting, jumping on the floor with that long wingspan. We'll see Williams Henry down there. Nowhere to go as Southeast Raleigh is falling out of bounds, and the scrapping for the ball down on the floor. Bodies flying everywhere.
50-41, Bulldogs leading. A nice step through, and a 3-on-1 thrown away by Nasir Sutton. Had a teammate on the right post, had another one spotted up in the right corner. And the pass split the difference.
Yeah, it was just kind of looked like he was unaware of where he was. Too much mustard on the hot dog there. The fastball was too fast to catch.
Enloe looking to carve into a 9-point deficit, under 5.5 for regulation. This is Gordon from 23. Whistle. He's fouled on the 3-point shots. That's as good of a make for the Eagles. And Dakota Gordon will shoot 3.
And the momentum carrying in to Gordon. And he's got the green light. We'll see the pass here by Adebempe. And then it's the momentum falling into him. Now it's Mosley catching him on that right side.
And it was well after the shot was released. And that's one of the things we talked with both head coaches about as far as Gordon goes, as he's at the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line. Just a really quick release. It's a style of a shot release he's had for several years because he was smaller, needed to get it off sooner. And you can see that can throw off some defenses because it will take a lot of other perimeter shooters a little bit longer to load up and fire, but not in Gordon's case.
And he's automatic from the free throw line. Look at his rotation. And I jinxed it there, but such good fundamentals and mechanics to his shot.
2 out of 3 for Gordon. Bulldogs lead by 7. And a little bit more pressure out of this 2-3 zone from Enloe. Gordon coming out to press Sutton. To the interior, dribbled off of the knee of Brinson. Ball is on the deck, and a jump ball before Enloe could get a timeout. Looked like Adebempe was trying to call for a timeout. One of the officials on the baseline signaled the jump ball. And it will stay with the Bulldogs in a 7-point lead.
Now Enloe full court press, kind of pulling a page out of Southeast Raleigh's playbook. We'll see if they can create a double team and kind of make the Bulldogs play fast and do something that's uncharacteristic.
Now trying to milk a little bit of clock. Sutton find the Eagles further and further out. Brinson, shifty, lost his balance, but kept possession of the basketball. Now a nice trap set on the sideline. Battling through is Johnson, and we get a foul on Enloe. And Bempe, he's a pretty demonstrative player out there, very animated. But that trap on the sideline just wasn't quite sealed off.
It was really good defense, but you said it, Patrick. Right at the end, it wasn't sealed. They weren't hip to hip. Enough room to kind of maneuver that ball, and there was some contact.
So we get a timeout taken with 4:31 left in the fourth quarter. 50-43, Southeast Raleigh leading Enloe. This is a low-scoring defensive affair through a quarter. And then we saw Enloe break out to a 7-point lead at halftime. But out of halftime, the Bulldogs came out looking like a completely different team. They put up 28 points in the third and sort of a 7-point deficit into a 6-point lead. And right now it remains at 7 as we're almost halfway through this final quarter.
Yeah, and for Southeast Raleigh, they just have to protect the basketball here. You got a big lead, 7 points with a 3-point shooting. And again, they just have to play fundamental, good, sound defense like they've been playing all night. I've just been impressed with their effort on the defensive end, Patrick. They've been flying all over the floor, showing effort. And on the defensive end, communication is so important. You can tell the guys are really talking to each other, and that's what makes them such a dominant defensive team.
Yeah, you look at the Cap 7 standings. Millbrook undefeated. Leesville Road right now 5-2 in conference play. And Southeast Raleigh tied for third. But again, the Bulldogs and the Eagles have already both played Millbrook twice. So they're going to have the majority of the remaining conference games against teams, especially in the Bulldogs' case, below them in the standings. That's why this is so important for Enloe to try and get some inroads back in this conference, because they could jump up 3-4 pegs pretty quickly because they don't have to face Millbrook anymore.
Yeah, and the schedule with it lightening up a little bit, this is the time to make a move in the standings. Playing your best basketball at this time of year is so important. Both coaches coming into the ballgame really like their teams, feel like they're coming together. But now, that's why this game, you said, is so important to get that momentum. You go into the weekend, Monday night, you come back right out here, play your same team at Southeast Raleigh. You can make a big jump with 2 wins here the next couple of days.
And remember, the regular season ends in just a couple of weeks' time as Justin Johnson makes the first free throw. Back at the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line, Johnson rattles that one in. He's the fourth Johnson sibling to come through the hallways of Southeast Raleigh. A couple of brothers and one sister preceded him. A 9-point lead for the Bulldogs. Williams-Henry, dribble drive, stumbled, and a blocking foul on Southeast Raleigh. Maybe we get a technical foul as well. I heard another toot of the whistle after the foul was called. So there's one right there on Brinson. And then as Brinson's on the floor on his back, I think it was the hand slap right there, Jay, against the court. Maybe a technical foul on Brinson as well. And if that's the case, we're looking at 4 free throws here for Enloe. And Brinson trying to explain to R.K. Carrington what happened. And indeed it is a technical foul against Southeast Raleigh and Brown Brinson.
And this is kind of a gift. The Eagles now, can you make it pay off? You're going to get these free throw opportunities. You have to convert. Unfortunate play for the Bulldogs there, and something very uncharacteristic in this opportunity. At this point in the ball game, that was a mistake.
And at the free throw line, Williams-Henry leaves the first one short. But plenty more opportunities from the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line. 1 of 2 for Williams. So now it should be. We'll see if we get a couple more free throw attempts. Yeah, Gordon is now going to come to the line. And I believe the Eagles are going to get the basketball. So this could be effectively a 6-point possession, which for all intents and purposes could almost draw this game even.
Yeah, unbelievable turn of events here. And we'll see how this game closes out, Patrick. But if Enloe can come back, this would be the point where you say, hey, this is where the tide changed.
So there are a couple of free throws made by Gordon. Brinson is on the bench after that tee. Now Brinson is part of a twin. There's a twin in his family. Maybe he's trying to blame that on his twin. I didn't do it.
It wasn't me.
So 52-46 is now the lead, and it is Enloe basketball. And Ebempe into traffic. And a battle for the rebound, and we will get a tie up there as Moretz tied up Ricardo Hall down low. So with 3:59 left in the fourth quarter, it's down to a 6-point game. Southeast Raleigh on top of Enloe, but this one is getting intriguing down the stretch thanks to a technical foul against the Bulldogs. 6-point lead for Southeast Raleigh. The finish from the Eagles next is on the way. Double-digit lead down to 6 for Southeast Raleigh. 3:59 remaining in this fourth quarter. One of the reasons that has kind of propelled this Enloe rally was a series of free throws and another bucket on a technical foul assessed right there with a heavy-handed smack to the court by Brown Brinson of Southeast Raleigh. That led to 4 free throws. They made 3, and then a bucket on the other side of it. And Brinson has not seen the court since. Brinson, the leading scorer for the Bulldogs as well. So a message being sent by Marquis Carrington. 16 for Brinson. And it is Enloe basketball down by 6 and still plenty of time.
I think if you're Enloe here, get the ball to Gordon, see if he can knock down a 3 and cut this to a 3-point deficit.
They're face guarding Gordon. They throw it his way anyway. And they put the 6'6" Malone on him.
Size, the quickness advantage for Gordon here. And look at how far away from the court Gordon is right now with his range. See if he can get a shot off.
They loop it, and Ebempe trying to create. Shovels one to Gordon, still got through. And a whistle blown, and I believe a timeout has been called. So excellent strategy out of that timeout by Marquis Carrington as far as how to defend Gordon. And Emmanuel Chapman, the head coach for the Eagles, is out to have a word with a couple of the officials.
Yeah, and what they did was they had Malone on him one-on-one, but as he started to move towards the right or the left, then you'd have that other perimeter defender come over to double team. So outstanding strategy by Marquis Carrington, really having the big guy try to block his view, and then as he tried to move, have another quicker, smaller defender come over and force him to get rid of the ball.
All right, let's take a look at tonight's Westgate Kia of Wake Forest play of the game. And here it is early in the contest. Big block denying a layup there by Meckett Williams-Henry, who scored 12 points in this game, but a beautiful recovery for our Westgate Dodge Ram of Wake Forest play of the game. WestgateCars.com, we will make you a believer for life. Will that, though, be enough? Enloe down by 6 and trying now to solve the riddle of the defense employed by the Bulldogs with the 6'6" senior Emil Malone, who was playing his first year ever of organized basketball. How's this? Your 8th ever high school game of your life. Hey, go guard one of the best shooters in the state. Use your 6'6" frame. Deny him a clean look.
He did a good job. I mean, he did not let Gordon free.
And now breaking the defense, they go inside, but George Moretz could not finish. And there we see Malone not giving up that basketball to Moretz.
There's the big guy, and for him coming out here, the potential that he has, just look at that frame. I mean, such long arms, tall, the ability to get stronger, put on more weight, and coming in here, you wonder how's a new guy going to shoot the ball. He's got a really good touch around the rim, good fundamentals for a new player, and when you're coming into a new situation, Patrick, as a coach, you love that because you can build good habits. He doesn't have any bad habits. You can kind of groom him and build him up and nurture him the right way.
Well, let's check his late game clutch touch around the free throw line. He missed the free throw, but Williams Henry, usually very dependable, tried to bring down that rebound and threw the ball off of his foot, and it goes over the end line. So a free possession for the Bulldogs when they're already leading by 6. That could be a critical mistake. Now they run 2-3 defenders at Johnson, and we get a tie-up forced by the Eagles.
You're right, 3 defenders, nowhere to go, and Johnson, if he could have gotten the ball over the top, he would have had an easy opportunity for his teammates, but they really closed the gap there, nowhere to go.
Now the next order of business for Enloe and Emmanuel Chapman. How do you defend these final few possessions here? Do you just simply allow the Bulldogs to run the clock down, or are you going to try and extend this game as much as you can? Still in that 2-3 zone. They're trapping on the sidelines and the wings. Trying to track down Justin Johnson. He's been awfully quick tonight. Ball knocked out of his hands, and there's going to be a reach-in foul on Adebempe, who again is very animated in his displeasure.
And he felt like he got all ball, and at this point, if you're Enloe, you want to create a turnover, or you're going to have to think about the foul. And look at that hustle. We'll see. Not a lot of contact.
Not much there. Get the foul against the sophomore. The first free throw booked by Johnson. Well, he does play with his heart on his sleeve. You know exactly where his mind is emotionally. One more anchor auto outlet free throw pops off. A 7-point lead for Southeast Raleigh. 2.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Now Southeast Raleigh switching to a zone now. Looks like they come back and kind of mid-possession. Looks like they're going to a man-to-man.
And now it's Mosley's job to deny Gordon. Baseline drive, reverse layup. A beautiful finish by Williams Henry. He has 14. That cuts it to a 5-point game with 2:10 left in the fourth quarter.
That's such a smart play, going baseline with his right hand. And it's a crease, and he broke through from easy two.
And the instinct is, when you beat the pressure, is to immediately attack. But it led to a wild shot there and a rebound by Williams Henry and a foul on Southeast Raleigh. And be careful here if you're Williams Henry. You maintain your poise. And you don't want to pick up a cheap technical foul when you're in the throes of a rally.
Yeah, you got to control your emotion, especially at the end of the ball game here. It's so important to close out this ball game, playing your best. And here, you see both teams fighting for the ball, but you cannot risk getting a technical and hurting your team.
So with 1:58 left, Enloe is going to be at the free throw line. Trailing 53-48, and we're going to have another timeout taken. So Enloe got the job done on the defensive end. They've left a lot of points, though, on the free throw line here tonight. Keith Carrington talking with his staff, trying to figure out the simplest way, and it looks very, very perplexing to him, the simplest way to close out the final 2 minutes here. And as you can tell by the pain he's inflicting on that dry erase marker there is no simple escape here from the Eagles' nest with a 5-point lead and under 2 minutes to go.
Until the game's over, that's when you're going to start to feel, the relief. But so intense on the sideline, both sides. The importance of this ball game, and you can tell, how much, this is going to mean a win here tonight. And also, Patrick, it's really just gets down to how much this game means to the kids and the players leaving it all out on the floor.
Again, And both of these head coaches, great ties to the triangle, as you mentioned. Emmanuel Chapman played right here at Enloe, so this school is stitched onto his hearts. And for Marquis Carrington, just across the street over in Cary. Both had excellent collegiate careers. Now trying to continue the rebuild of these programs. So Williams-Henry is at the foul line. First of 2. And Enloe cuts it at 4. Unofficially, 15 points for Williams-Henry tonight.
I think going to this ballgame, we just had a feeling it was going to come down to the wire, and both teams, they've had huge runs on both sides. Now 3-point deficit, 1:58 left on the clock. Enloe starting to gain that momentum and come back here. This is going to be a great finish.
One possession game inside 2 minutes for the fourth quarter. Southeast Raleigh 53, Enloe 50. Highly balanced offensive attack tonight for the Bulldogs. And they take control and care of the basketball here to give themselves a shot to win. Taking about 25 seconds off the game clock here. They get a beautiful find. It's poked away, though, and stolen by Dakota Gordon, and a timeout called by the Eagles. Best interior defense of the night we've seen from Enloe. And Gordon, I believe it was him who got his hand in there and poked that basketball away. It was about to be a free gimme layup for the Bulldogs.
Look at that effort right there, knocking it away from Samari Dowlin. Best defensive play of the night for Gordon. He picked the perfect time to do it, and now he called the timeout, chance to go over the sideline, draw up a play, and this comeback has been impressive from the Eagles after that third quarter where they just got blitzed.
Yep.
Now they're finding a way to crawl back into this.
Really good character check and test for the Eagles. Now, if you're Emmanuel Chapman, you have options on what kind of plays to call. You know who your top go-to guy is with the perpetual green light. That's Dakota Gordon. It has not been a great shooting night for Dakota Gordon. You're down by 3. The issue is you don't necessarily need one now.
Yeah, and I think what you want to do is say who's having the best night. Williams-Henry's playing great on the offensive end. Gordon's your best scorer. Make it a 2-man game. Pick and roll, put the ball in their hands, put them on the same side of the floor, and force defenders to kind of pick how they want to guard them. And if you get a drive, 2 guys come over, dish it out to the other guy. If not, take it to the rim. But those guys need to have the ball in their hands.
And the decision might be made for them. It really depends on how the Bulldogs defend Gordon. But they don't need to worry about it. A takeaway on the out-of-bounds play by Nasir Sutton in Southeast Raleigh. Plot twist in the final minute and a half. And now scrambling the defense for the Eagles. As Southeast Raleigh plays keep away. Oh, just a cardinal sin out of the timeout. Simply did not clear Sutton out of the way of the inbounds pass. And an unforced error for the Eagles gives it back to Southeast Raleigh. Now a couple of free throws.
See, here's the turnover, just jumping in front, reading the eyes. A critical mistake. See if Southeast Raleigh can take advantage of it at the free throw line.
There was no ball fake, no look away. That was all Nasir Sutton on a telegraph pass. And now it is Sutton at the anchor auto outlet free throw line, and he makes it now a 2-possession game.
And Sutton kind of baited him into throwing. It didn't look like he was just kind of standing lackadaisical. As soon as that ball left the hands, he jumped, darted in front of it for the steal.
We'll never know what play was drawn up. The lead is now 5 with 1:08 to go. And Williams-Henry and the Eagles put that out of their minds. This is Brannon inside a minute. Enloe with the ball, down by 5. Gordon is running underneath right now, and they run a play for him on the sideline. Catch and release deep 3. Long rebound, chased down by the Bulldogs, and the outlet ahead. And we get a whistle blown, and Justin Johnson to the free throw line to try and put this one away with 42 seconds left.
And that long rebound hit and started bouncing away from everybody. It just turned into a foot race. The Bulldogs quick to the ball. Let's see here, Johnson getting the contact from Moretz.
And that first one flips out of there from the ankle auto outlet free throw line. Remains a 5-point game. Johnson now with 7. And Enloe nearly turned it over again on the out of bounds. That scored it right through the hands of Gordon. Saved it before it hit the sideline. 6-point game. Gordon takes the screen from Jacobs. Jacobs throws down low. Moretz just gets absolutely tackled underneath. And Moretz, fortunately, is okay. He will head to the foul line for 2. Both teams in the double bonus.
And you see double team come over to Gordon. Then Jacobs passed it down. And then as soon as Moretz put that shot fake, you could just see the momentum, and he was going to get drilled. It was a good job by him just keeping a base, getting the contact. And I'm glad he's okay.
A couple of points tonight for Moretz. He's just a junior. Played a physical contest tonight. And it remains a 6-point game. One more from the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line. You can see Moretz kind of squeezing his eyes a little bit, trying to get his bearings back after that tackle from behind by Justin Johnson.
Well, he's been physical on the defensive and taking that charge as well. Good post presence on the defensive end as well.
Rebounding the miss is Johnson. And a quick foul taken with 26 seconds left. 56-50, and now words being exchanged. And the officials get in the middle here. Couldn't see if they were just calming them down or if a technical was assessed. And it looks like there was not a technical this time, so Johnson heads to the free throw line. A lot of pride, a lot of friendship, a lot of games in the schoolyard and in the park and the Y over many years. And now it does appear as though a technical foul was charged on Enloe. So it's Justin Johnson at the foul line for Southeast Raleigh. And there we see the reaction from Emmanuel Chapman saying, really? Yeah. Technical on my guy?
I mean, just the mistake, to put yourself in that position, whether it was or wasn't, the fact that it was called, you put yourself in that position, just a mistake, kind of a learning opportunity for his team, because you do that, you get the free throw opportunities, get the ball back, and now for Enloe, it's going to be tough.
And these will be the technical foul shots taken by Nasir Sutton. And this is the first of 2. Now keep in mind, the first technical we saw called against Bron Brinson, he has not played since. And he was their leading scorer with 16 points. And Marquis Carrington has not put him back on the floor since that moment about 4 minutes ago. And there he is, still on the sideline for the Bulldogs. 58-50. 26 seconds left. And Mosley gets it in, and the Eagles will take one last foul with 23 seconds.
Well, in Southeast Raleigh, still got to finish out this ball game. But they had a 53-50 lead. And coming out of that timeout, they had that critical turnover that they stole the ball, went to the line, and that's where this whole game changed at the end. It was on the defensive end, and we've been talking about it all night, how good their defense has been, and at the biggest moment, it showed up.
So it's been a slow crawl to now an 8-point lead. 2 more free throws coming, and that one is left short by Hall. And one more at the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line for Ricardo Hall. A nice all-around game, gotten on the glass, distributed well, 6 points. And now 7. 9-point game. Clock ticking down as Gordon hustles it up. 3 threes to tie it. Gordon just trying to find a spot, gets stripped from behind, spins backwards and misses a fadeaway 3. And the stick back good from Moretz with 10 seconds left. Clock still runs. And keep away with Mosley. They finally nip him around the half-court line. And 6 seconds remain, and Southeast Raleigh is going to snap a little losing streak to Enloe over the last couple of years.
Yeah, this is going to be a big win, important win for the Bulldogs. Coming in here on the road, senior night, rivalry game. You face some adversity, huge deficit at a halftime break. Great third quarter, and then to close out this ball game, you had a really motivated Eagles team clawing at you. They found a way at the biggest moments to make it happen, and for them, a lot of things they can learn from this game that they can carry over into Monday night's game as well.
So 1 of 2 from Mosley, 60-52. final few seconds as Dakota Gordon launches one last three. It is short, and the horn will sound, and the Southeast Raleigh Bulldogs hang on. A 28-point third quarter, catapulting Southeast Raleigh to an 8-point win over Enloe in the rematch Monday in Southeast Raleigh. Enloe will look for revenge.
Southeast Raleigh came out here, and on the defensive end, they took over from the start. Their offense didn't really wake up till the third quarter, but you could see how good they can be in that third quarter when they took over, and they were able to carry that momentum into the fourth. A lot of confidence that they can gain from this win.
Princeton with 16, Mosley with 14, leading the way. Southeast Raleigh moves to 4-3 in the Cap 7, a road win at the Eagles Nest. Southeast Raleigh a 60-52 win over Enloe. Trophy presentation for high school hoops coming up next. Southeast Raleigh, thanks to an enormous third quarter, it comes from behind and on the road. They take down the Enloe Eagles 60-52. So the Bulldogs move to 4-3 in the Cap 7. Enloe struggles continue to 1-6. And Jay Sonhalter presenting our high school hopes trophy to the Southeast Raleigh Bulldogs. Marquis Carrington and his team will celebrate as they snap a losing streak at the hands of their rivals. Led by 14 from Mosley, 16 from Brinson, and they claim an 8-point win over Enloe. All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful folks at Westgate Kia and Westgate Dodge Ram of Wake Forest to make all these games possible for all of our great viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great supporters for their contributions to high school hoops on MyRDC 28. Those are West Shore Home, Wegmans To Go, U.S. Coast Guard, Anchor Auto Outlet, and Riddle and Brantley. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and all of their administrators for their continued support to bring you this program tonight. Southeast Raleigh High and Enloe High School. Join us next week on MyRDC when the Heritage Huskies girls take on the Knightdale Knights. For Jay Sonhalter and our entire crew, Patrick Keenis bidding you good night from Raleigh, where Southeast takes down Enloe 60-52.